everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Farrah, and this is going to be another Agatha Christie reading vlog as part of my Read Everything by Agatha Christie project that I have for my own personal reading goals. So this month I decided to read the, spooky season pick, which was Hallwe'en Party. And this is going to be my first Hercule Poirot, I'm sorry if I said that wrong, novel, so I get to meet him finally. And I'm excited to get to this. I think I've heard a little bit of mixed reviews on this one, and I think they just adapted this to a movie, which I have not seen yet. But yeah, so far I've read Passenger to Frankfurt and Endless Night. Passenger to Frankfurt was interesting, and Endless Night I did enjoy, so hoping that I enjoy this as well. Based on the back of the book, we're investigating a murder of a 13-year-old who apparently knew too much. So I'm only about a chapter into it, and we're at some kind of children's Halloween party. Not children, kind of like teenagers, ages 13 to 17. We met this young girl named Joyce. She is talking a lot about murder mysteries and everything, and she decides to tell the adults that are standing around that she has witnessed an actual murder before. And the adults are like, no, you haven't. You're lying. You're lying. No one's taking her seriously. There's also a lot of talk about apples. I know they're going to be doing some apple bobbing. So this book is told in the third person point of view, and it's pretty short. I want to say it's just about 200 pages or so. So excited to finally be getting into this one, and I'm hoping it'll be a pretty quick read for me. So I will check back in once I get a few more chapters through this book and see how it goes. All right, guys, just wanted to check in. Check in with my Agatha Christie reading, and I am about at the 30% mark, a little over 30%. And I just wanted to, share my thoughts about how I feel so far. So this is my first Hercule Poirot book, so I finally got to meet him within the first couple chapters, and yeah, he's charming so far. There's this one little section where he talks about coloring his hair, which I thought was really funny. But anyway, I do like his mannerisms so far, and I'm enjoying Miss Christie's writing as usual. It's just, I would say my only complaint is that I'm about at the 30% mark, and it's very slow. I haven't really read any reviews about this, so I don't know, what the general consensus is in terms of how fast moving the plot is or anything, but I'm at chapter 11, and I'm kind of like having a hard time. I can't read this at night. I just keep nodding off. Like, I'm already overtired as it is, but yeah, definitely nodding off within the book. And it's just, we're following this murder of this 13-year-old girl. She's found drowned in a bucket of bobbing apples at a Halloween party, which is, grim premise, which they acknowledge. The characters do acknowledge that within the book. And so Poirot is going around and he's starting to interview the people that were at the party to see if he can get more information about any potential motives. Joyce, before the party started, like I had mentioned, she announces to a group of kids and parents standing around that she had witnessed a murder before. So he believes that that is probably related. He's investigating the original murder that she could have possibly seen to see if there are any connections. So during the interviews, it's kind of a little repetitive. I feel he's asking kind of the same questions. And I would say the other weird thing that I'm noticing is that when he goes to interview her family and her siblings, it's like nobody cares. They're so indifferent about it. The mother's just like, oh, such a horrible thing to happen. The brother could care less. He barely looks up from whatever project he's working on. And his sister, she could care less too. And she's just like, I don't want to talk bad about her because she's dead, but she was such a liar. So that is really sticking out as odd to me. Like, why are they just acting like not like their family member was just killed? It's very interesting. So we'll see if that has anything to do with anything. But if not, it's just a funny way to have written that scene, I guess. There's just not a lot of angst or grieving going on for this child. At about the 30% mark. Enjoying the writing as usual. I'm enjoying the character of Poirot, but the overall plot is pretty slow. It's just moving along fairly slowly. So I'll check back in when I get to about the halfway point in the book just to see if things have turned around a little bit. All right, guys, we're on chapter 24 and we're almost at the end of the book. And I will say, this definitely has picked up quite a bit. The second half of the book was a lot more interesting. I felt like Hercule, he knows what's going on. He knows who the killer is, and we are just left to wait to the very last second. I personally do not know. I have not figured it out. I have an idea maybe of one person, but I haven't really figured it out. I am finding a few like charming little pieces of prose within this finally. Some just funny little quirky things that Poirot thinks about or some of the characters talk about. So I can see that little Agatha Christie charm in there. So I'm going to finish this up tonight and then I'll have my final thoughts to wrap up the vlog. All right, so we are back for the final wrap up for Hallwe'en Party by Agatha Christie. And I will say, this was a tiny bit of a disappointment for me. I mean, going into it, I did know that this wasn't one of her better works. I mean, obviously it's not like Death on the Nile or And Then There Were None, you know, so I knew it was kind of one of her later books that maybe wasn't as well received. So I think that I'm glad that I read it because I do want to read everything. And I'm glad that I read it early because I don't have a lot of her earlier works to compare it to. But I did find that overall the writing was nice. I did see the sprinkling in of that Agatha Christie charm that I'm told about. I did get some charm with Hercule Poirot and some of his thoughts and some of his... He did talk a lot about his mustache, which I thought was really funny. There was this one quote where he talks about coloring his hair, which is just funny how it was written. Mrs. Oliver, I really liked her. I liked her personality. I don't know if she shows up in other books as well, but I liked her. But overall, I think that the writing in the beginning was definitely slow. The first 100 pages, I was like, ugh, like it was just interview after interview. It felt very repetitive. But as we got to the halfway point, I did find that the plot moved along a little better. Poirot figured it out probably by 3/4 of the way, but we had to wait till the very end to figure it out. I didn't think that the twist or the, you know, who done it, I didn't think that that was very climatic. I didn't fully expect it, but I also was like, you know, okay. I guess the motives weren't very clear. It was like bizarre out there motives for why everything happened. So not my favorite. I would say that comes in second to all the books I've read so far. So far my favorites from top to bottom are going to be Endless Night and then Hallwe'en Party and then Pastor to Frankfurt. So I'm glad I read it, you know, but I don't think I would recommend this as a general Agatha Christie book. I think you can skip it for sure. But for a completionist, you know, go for it. It's not that bad. It wasn't as good as I hoped, I should say. But who am I to judge Agatha Christie, you know? She's a gem. I am interested in checking out the new movie adaptation that came out. Let me know if anybody has seen it, if it's any good. I think that will do it for now. Thank you guys for sticking with me through the vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. And I would be interested to know your thoughts. If you really liked it, I would love to know why. If you didn't like it, let me know why also. But thanks so much for watching, you guys. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in my next video.